I'm built off of getting it out the mud. That's all I know.
Yeah.
You know, coming from no mama, no father. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that I really truly love is in the ground. So for me, I don't take life for granted.
Yeah.
I cherish each and every moment that I'm able to wake up. Thank you to the master. And I make it like it's my last because life is tender and it's crucial. I could leave out of here today and be out of here. So what I'm trying to put out, I want people to remember me by that. Yeah. It ain't about how long you live. It's about how you live in that time that you're given.
We call ourselves CiiiTY, but we global. And everybody that has a voice is allowed to be vocal.
We've been excited for this interview, especially with the hype build up around the name from your manager. We know we checked you out.
Okay.
And very impressed. Your music is very different. You come with a unique style that I don't think I hear it from anybody else in Palm Beach. So
I appreciate that.
You hard.
Yeah, you hard.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, in lesser words, you hard. You know.
Yes,
in
sir.
Florida terms. That's what I'm trying to say is you hard, right?
Believe it.
So,
I got you, Jerry. With
yeah,
the
thank you for that. Yeah. So I want to, we want to definitely go back to the beginning and get an understanding of the type of artist you are and where you're coming from, how you got the name Lady Massacre and so on and so forth. So are you from Florida originally?
Yes, born and raised.
Okay.
Riviera Beach.
Oh,
but
okay.
You know,
You hard.
Definitely.
Yeah, you can tell by your flow and your delivery. You know, you're a vet in this game.
Yes, I've been doing it for a while. I'm raw and I'm raw.
Okay.
So
Raw and she from the raw.
She from
Believe
the raw
it.
and she raw. Yeah.
I love that.
You ain't from Florida. You ain't catch that part.
Come on now.
Yeah.
We ain't dealing with no pullouts around here. Wall Street or pearly whites.
Yeah.
I prefer the pearly whites though.
Yeah.
I can't tell. You got the pearly whites on right now.
Believe it. All 32.
Right. So, Lady Massacre, how'd you get your name, and how'd you start getting in this game?
Well, I got my name.
All
Shout
right.
out to my little sister for sure, Abria Davis. She gave me the Lady Massacre. I really didn't have a name at first because I was just kind of just rapping.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, what you gonna call yourself? And I'm like, oh, I ain't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
What about just Cree? And she was like, nah, sis, you need something better than Cree.
Yeah.
You too raw for Cree. What about the Lady Massacre?
So she just thought of that off rip.
Right, but it's a movie, Texas Massacre. We used to
Texas
watch it.
Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes, we used to watch that all the time. That was like one of her favorite movies.
Yeah.
But when she said the Lady Massacre, it made me like, it's aggressive. But when they see me, they pretty much always think that I'm a singer. Like, well, what do you do?
Yeah.
You sing? And I be like, no, I rap. And they're like, all right. Yeah. Until they actually hear me rap. So I think the Lady Massacre actually fits me pretty well.
You
Yeah,
be
I think
just
so.
Cutting up on the beat.
For sure. So shouts out to my little sister for
Very,
that.
very distinctive with the Lady Massacre and not Lady Massacre.
Yeah,
or
No.
the
Massacre,
Lady.
Absolutely. You gotta put the in front of that.
Gotta put that, yeah. Ain't no other one. Just yeah.
Ain't gonna be another one.
Okay.
I mean, I believe that it's gonna be others great and maybe possibly even greater than I, but it won't never be another Lady Massacre.
For sure. How long ago was that? How long ago did you acquire that name and you guys went through that decision there? Around what time was this?
I would say it was actually my first year in college. Probably 2000. Well, I went early, so I'll say 2007 in the fall.
For sure. And you started rapping in college, or were you taking rap seriously in college?
Well, to be honest, I've been rapping as long as I was able to put words together.
Okay.
So it started off just pretty much me writing down my feelings and my thoughts, just based off my trauma past experiences. So I really don't, or I really haven't. I'm gonna say it like this. My music expresses what I can't at times say. So I feel free enough to put it in my music. And it started off with just a diary. I mean, I used to write every day in a diary. I don't care what it was, like whatever I went through, how I felt. If somebody made me mad, if I had a fight, if I felt bad, good, or in the middle, I wrote it down. And I used to listen to rap as long as I can remember. Shout out to my father, rest in peace. His favorite rapper was Too Short. So that was like my first pimp rap. That's what I started off from. So, and then I moved down, of course, to the rappers that I do like. and that I consider as the greatest. So for me, rapping started just as the beginning, when I could say words, I could put them together, I could make it make sense. But I definitely can't take all the credit for that. I started taking music more seriously in college, and shout out to Hugh Boy. I definitely owe him everything and more. I used to rap, he was like, nah, he put me through like this boot camp. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I ain't gonna cap, cause I ain't a capper. And I walked out on him like 50 times. And I quit like 150 times, but I come back every day. Like, what you think about this? He be like, I like this, but I don't really like this. Man, one time, I swear to y'all, this man took my book and he snatched my pages out the book. He just ripped them. Shh. I'm like, bro, what is you doing? And he was like, you could do better than this. He's like, I'm gonna put you through a boot camp. So I went through boot camp. And basically boot camp was me learning how to structure music, me learning how to stay on topic, me learning how to use my words, wordplay, being aggressive, but making sense, but not taking away from my own craft. He gave me the confidence and the understanding to know that you just starting at this. I know what I'm doing, so let me help you. And it was just up to me to just be open and have that room of capacity to just trust them. And I did that.
I was gonna say, what made you want to come back? You said you kept coming back. What made you, want to keep pursuing or trusting in him and trusting in the process, things like that?
Well, I've been knowing Hugh Boy before music. I met him in 6th grade at Watkins, and he used to sit with me every day on the bus, and he was like our music man. Like at the time, back in the G, we didn't have like, digital stuff we could pull up and listen to. So we used to burn CDs and, line while you, take it back to the G, download it. And your computer might have 150 viruses after it's over with, but you're going to be jamming for the next 2 weeks. So we used to go to him for music, and he would make us bomb mixes. I mean, whatever you wanted, he can make it. So for me, we kind of built a relationship and rapport off of that, but we became friends on the top of that. And he always was into music, and I really was just a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I used to rap back then, but I wasn't really taking rap serious, to be real with you. But that was always his passion. So when he started Zeal, and he allowed and asked me to be the first lady of Zeal, at first, to be real with y'all, I was in the streets heavy, so I wasn't really trying to put my life definitely not on no wax.
Yeah.
Because I was living in live time. So, but I believed in his vision, and I believed in the movement, so I joined.
Zeal started then, I would say, around that time when you were in college?
Zeal was already in the makings.
Yeah.
We was talking about Zeal from high school. But paperwork-wise, we've been a company over a decade.
So since then, you've been the first, or you the only lady in there at the moment?
I'm the only female rapper, yes, but I'm not the only female a part of the team.
Female parts, okay. Gotcha. All right, cool. So what do you enjoy most about that? How do you feel like Zeal and as a whole has elevated you as, you kind of pretty much said a lot there in terms of what it did for your confidence, but I know that's credit to Hugh Boy personally. But as an entity, how did Zeal help you out, especially in marketing your music and having different strategies in line?
Well, to be honest, Zeal is the blueprint of why I am where I am now and why I have the buzz that I have now, because we patched up money when we didn't have it. We did fundraisers. I know he believed in me. And when it was just 0 people in the crowd to now we packing shows out. So for me, I know the loyalty is there. So that means more to me than anything.
All right. Well, first song. So first song you officially released, you went through this boot camp. Mm-hmm. You got your confidence going. Before then you were rapping, but what I'm guessing is you weren't really putting music out?
No, that's correct.
Okay. So when you started putting music out, what was the first thing you put out? Did you put out a tape? What was that process like, putting out an actual song and having the confidence to put it out? And what did you get back from it? Like, what were some of the criticisms?
The first song I put out, it had to be off of a Drake Ransom beat. and it actually made the mixtape. And the mixtape was named TLM 2K10. And I still have
2K10.
physical copies in my red car, no cap of that still. That was the first mixtape I ever put out.
How did it do?
It was full of cussing. It was just me living in live time at that time, what I was going through, the problems, the burdens I was going through, just coming from where I came from and actually making it. Out of my family, I'm not the first person to graduate, but I'm the first person to take a risk, and try to do something that I'm daring to be different. I'm doing something that they like, why are you doing this? You know what I'm saying? You have a degree, you done went to school, you know how to do other things. Why do you want to do music? But music is my passion, and that's something that I can't just let go. I got to make that my reality.
Yeah. I said that's a hard distinction for artists to make. It's a hard sacrifice.
Absolutely.
Doing something, not just music, but doing anything that involves building something for yourself. So
I agree.
So
it take away from a lot of time. It's
Yeah.
tedious. You have to sacrifice more than you actually gain from it at the beginning. But that's with anything. You have to put it in for you to get something out. So for me, I'm built off of getting it out the mud. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Coming from no mama, no father. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that I really truly love is in the ground. So for me, I don't take life for granted.
Yeah.
I cherish each and every moment that I'm able to wake up. Thank you to the master. And I make it like it's my last, because life is tender and it's crucial. I could leave out of here today and be out of here. So what I'm trying to put out, I want people to remember me by that. Yeah. It ain't about how long you live. It's about how you live in that time that you're given.
Yeah.
So you were saying before you really started pursuing music seriously, you were
Mm-hmm.
kind of heavy in the streets before that.
Absolutely.
Would you say that was kind of like your setback, before you could really pursue it further, like music-wise?
I feel like that was just a stepping stone for me. That was a part of my life that I couldn't escape, because that a lot of what y'all hear, that's my life.
The originator of
So I couldn't skip that part. Mm-hmm. My prayer now is not to let me, skip through it or avoid it, for me to get through it. Just as long as he be with me, I'm willing to follow. So for me, I don't feel like me being in the streets detoured me or it delayed me. It actually put me right on time for my purpose. I know that I'm ripe and I'm in my season, and I understand the transition. So when you understand what transition and what season you're currently in, it makes things a little bit easier to deal with.
How did you come to make that transition from, being active in the streets to having to go a whole different path, a whole different route,
Prayers. People praying for me praying for myself, and actually wanting to change. The only way that you can find change, you have to want that within. And when you pray, you got to just be sincere, regardless if your prayer is long or short. As long as it's sincere, you can be helped, but you can't be in denial that you need help. So once I got out of that, like, oh, this is just what I was brought up in, I ain't have it always. I had to understand that a lot of people don't have it always. I'm not the only person in this world that's dealing with that. So I decided to put it in my music so it could be therapy for other people.
Yeah. So you had to stop a fight with yourself, essentially.
Absolutely. It's always a battle, especially when you can get, I'm going to say it like this, temporary money fast. I'd rather get that long Jeopardy money and go to work and clock in and clock out and don't have to worry about nobody looking, trying to get me or hit my people or, bothering with the people that I love the most. Because I can stand for people to bother with me, but what bothers me the most is when you bother with people that I truly love.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Would you say, overall, would you say your mentality, as in terms of your passion, would you say your mentality is you don't have anything to lose, or you have everything to lose when how you approach the game?
Well, I'm going to say it like this. I don't have nothing to lose because I've lost everything. Mm-hmm. So the only way for me to look at this is going up. You'll see me a lot in my posts. I say love and loyalty. I always say let's go up, let's go crazy on them. And I don't mean it in a gangster way. I just mean it as let's use that same energy that we used when we was in the street. Let's turn that to a positive impact, something that them kids can be proud of. Because I got people that's looking up to me. I got people depending on me.
Yeah. Okay. Stylistically, going into music, I'm curious. Why did you choose to go? I know you have different influences.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you choose to go into it as an MC rather than the route that most female artists go into nowadays, which is, more pop or, explicit feminism, showing off
Right.
your, you know what I mean? Like, why did you choose the road less traveled in terms of just being a MC, something like, Remy Ma?
Absolutely.
Or in that,
She one of the
lane.
greatest.
Yeah.
I chose that route because an MC will forever be remembered. There forever will be a legend. A rapper is just the trend. That's the era that you in. People gonna forget you. Yeah, you might have money. Yeah, people might be able to look you up. But if you're not somebody in the game, like a Tupac, that's something that you can't match that. It's unmatchable. So for me, that's what I want to bring to the game. I want to bring my own lane. I'm not trying to fit in. I feel like we have more than enough artists that's don't have on any clothes. So at least I could be pretty with my clothes on and still get my message across, and I don't have to use profanity. And one reason why I took cursing out of my music completely is because I was trying to drop this project and we were looking for sponsors. And he was like, I feel like y'all are dope. I feel like you have what it takes to be a star. Yeah. But I can't play this for corporate world without having to get it cleaned, or we got to edit. And then he also said that a person that has to use profanity to get their point across really don't have enough words in their vocabulary to make you persuade you. Yeah. So for me, I took that as, he right. Let me see how hard it is for me to do this, and let me see if I can conquer this. I'm never gonna give up at anything that I do, regardless if it's the smallest thing to the largest thing. So for me, it was just like a challenge, and I'm big on challenges because I'm always the underdog. So, oh, you can't do this. Well, I'm gonna show you that I can.
I'm glad you brought that up. I do say that to artists, to at least have a portion of your discography that doesn't have any cursing in it, because as someone who do events and stuff like that, depending on what demographic you're looking at, that could be an issue as well. I can't book certain artists because of the content matter in your music, and it is an art form, so it's good to have that creative, discretion to curse or not curse in your music. It's good, but it's good to have a variety as well.
Right, and I'm not knocking the artists because that's where I came from. So I could never say, oh, I think that's terrible, you shouldn't do this. But for me, this is my lane. This is what I'm trying to push. This is the image that I'm trying to portray. Yeah. So what I'm pushing out, I got to live that.
We call ourselves CiiiTY, but we global. And everybody that has a voice is allowed to be vocal.